The line it is out of service, Hastings. There is electricity, but a disconnection it exists somewhere. I am assured by my landlord that it will be functioning again in the morning.
Things are progressing exactly as I expected. This looks important. I will keep it in my notebook. This may be important. I'll keep it in my notebook. Interesting. I'll put it in my notebook. This document bears further study. I will keep it in my notebook. I'm ready, Poirot.
I am sorry, Hastings. You have not obtained everything you may need for the investigation. Do you have something to carry the clues in? A notebook with which to record the facts? The stopwatch should time prove to be an important factor? The picture of us that will be of more than sentimental value?
Give me a few moments more, if you will.
As you wish. A wise choice, Hastings. With this stopwatch, you will be able to determine the time it would take the suspects to make their way to the scene of the murder.
I'm ready, Poirot.
You need only to touch your portrait, and we are off. Notice how the portrait is now of Poirot. When you wish us to return to my flat, you have only to touch my portrait. They are blackout curtains, although at the moment they are not drawn. Although I am sure that this sight would amuse you, Hastings, Poirot will not engage in such activities for the duration of this tale. No, Hastings, that is not the proper route for Poirot at the moment. Pardon, mademoiselle, what is your name?
Gladys, sir. Oh, sir. If it's about the towels, the delivery hasn't come yet from the mainland. And that Will is ever so unreliable.
There is no hurry. Poirot has completed his toilette.
Well, if it's the bed, I'll get to it when I can. There's so much to do.
Do not trouble yourself. You seem out of sorts. Is something wrong?
Oh, no, sir. No, not really.
There. What is it?
It's that Will Jenks, if you must know.
What can you tell me of Seadrift Island?
Only that I wouldn't stay around here after dark.
Why not?
There's a ghost. Old Tom Cutter's ghost. A smuggler and a pirate. Murdered he was. Shot down by government agents after his gold.
You have seen this ghost?
I haven't, but many have. He haunts the pub here on the island what's closed now.
You seem quite angry with this Will Jenks.
Will? Oh, he thinks quite a bit of himself, he does. Just because a girl might go with him to the films in Kingsbridge or have a bit to eat at the local, he thinks he's got her wrapped around his little finger. Thinks he can do whatever he likes when she's not around.
Is there another girl?
He says no, but I've seen her with him at the garage and walking in the high street. And she's still a child too. But I won't mention names. It would cost me my job.
I am sure he will see the error of his ways, mademoiselle. Be patient.
Huh.
Thank you, madame.
I'll lose my job if Mrs. Castle catches me
Ah, Mr. Poirot. Good morning. All settled in, are you?
Yes, Mrs. Castle, thank you. I am looking forward to my little holiday from crime.
Anything I can help you with?
A most beautiful island. Where can I learn more of its history?
That brochure will introduce you to the colourful past of Seadrift Island and Lethercombe Bay. Once you've studied that, you'll probably have more questions. I'm from London myself, but most of our staff are local. Perhaps they can help you, and the villagers have all sorts of wonderful stories.
Have the coastal evacuations affected you yet?
As you can see from the register, our two largest parties have gone. In the past few weeks, the Smuggler's End pub here on the island has closed, and Lethercombe Bay is almost a ghost town. Every day I expect Colonel Weston to order the hotel closed as well. It's only a matter of time.
Who else is staying here at present?
You are welcome to check the register if you wish, Mr. Poirot. Perhaps you'll find someone you know.
I shall not keep you any longer, Mrs. Castle. Merci.
If you need anything more, I'll be in my office. Was there something else, Mr. Poirot?
Is the hotel safe at the disposal of guests?
Of course. We'll be happy to store any of your valuables.
Have you been the manager here long?
Only a few months. Not quite the situation I was hoping for, and it won't last much longer thanks to the war.
Are there any golf courses nearby on the mainland? Hastings, Poirot does not play the golf. Remember where, who you are. Sorry, old man. I will not impose upon you further, madame.
Mr. Poirot, there was one thing.
Oui, madame?
It's such a small matter, I feel silly bringing it to the attention of a gentleman with your reputation.
Do not let the reputation of Poirot cause you to hesitate in your inquiry.
Well, my wire recorder has gone missing. I used to dictate all my letters for a girl in the village to type up. She's learning to type, so she brings her own typewriter. I need only supply the paper.
When was the wire recorder taken?
Sometime on the evening of the 19th.
Do you lock your office?
There has never been any need. I lock the safe, of course. That is where all the valuables are kept.
Did anything else out of the ordinary happen on the day the recorder went missing?
Let me see. Well, that was the day Arlena Stewart arrived. A celebrity such as she causes quite a stir.
I am not sure what I can do, but I will be happy to keep my eyes and ears open, madame.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Poirot.
A wire recorder? Those things are huge. Shouldn't be difficult to track down.
Pardon, madame? I suggest we wait until Mrs. Castle is no longer present before searching her office. Forgive the intrusion, mademoiselle.
Oh,
I did not mean to startle you.
not at all. I must have been miles away. You're Monsieur Poirot, aren't you? I understood you joined us last evening. I'm Rosamund Darnley.
Enchanté. What brings you to Seadrift Island, Mademoiselle Darnley?
A short rest before the fall season.
But of course, you are the proprietress of Rosemont, the fashion house. Your designs are first-rate. Hastings, what does Poirot know of such things?
I'm surprised you are interested in women's fashions, Monsieur Poirot.
Sometimes I surprise even myself, mademoiselle. It is very quiet here, n'est-ce pas?
I don't mind the quiet. There were a number of children here until a few days ago. They were evacuated. Ken's daughter Linda is here, but she's 16. Hardly a child anymore. I've had one odd incident. A small crime, even.
Sometimes the small crimes are but appetizers to a main course.
I brought a typewriter down to catch up on some correspondence. It disappeared from my room the day after I arrived.
Have you been here on the island long?
Just a few days. It was a spur of the moment sort of thing.
Did you report the theft?
No, my jewelry and over £20 in my purse were untouched. I suspect someone simply borrowed the typewriter and will return it when they're finished with it. Rude, perhaps, but possibly not a crime at all.
What day did you find the typewriter missing?
The 20th.
Did anyone take an interest in the typewriter when you arrived?
Come to think of it, a man named Major Barry did make some comment, but I rather felt he was simply looking for an excuse to talk to me.
Au revoir, madame. Alas, Poirot never learned to tickle the ivories.
Poirot, you employed that phrase correctly.
I hope you are not implying Poirot's English to be anything less than perfect.
Well, that is to say, I would never presume.
Sorry, sir, the bar won't be open till 11.
I am merely making the morning constitutional, young man. What is your name?
Henry, sir.
What can you tell me of my fellow guests, Henry?
Well, I don't want to gossip, but Arlena Stewart, the actress, is staying here. And there's a Miss Rosamond Darnley in the dining room. I understand she's a famous dressmaker or something.
Are you from Lethercombe Bay?
No, sir. I live in Kingsbridge. Lethercombe Bay is a bit quiet for my taste, especially now they've begun the evacuations.
How long have you worked at the hotel?
3 years. Don't know what I'll do when they close her down.
How do you like working here, Henry?
Well, it's very nice, usually. Of course, Mrs. Castle, the manager, is something of a tartar. I expect that's because she's new and wants to establish her authority. Come to think of it, Gladys hasn't been herself lately. The first floor maid? Look, I'm no gossip, but I think she's had a row with her young man, Will Jenks. I expect it's nothing really. Everyone's a bit tense these days.
I will leave you to your work, Henry.
Thank you, sir.
A beautiful... It appears to be an empty bottle of the grenadine.
I say, the latest number of Motor Enthusiast magazine, Poirot. What a stroke of luck. I've been looking out for this one.
This is a useful point to measure the time it takes to reach Cutter's Cove, the spot that will be the scene of the murder. I did not mean to frighten you, my friend.
You didn't, and I'm not.
The pub, it is open?
No.
You have the binoculars, I see.
What of it?
They are for the watching of birds?
Yes, I'm very fond of birds.
Are you staying at the hotel?
Are you?
Mais oui. Hercule Poirot, at your service.
My name is North.
If he's a birdwatcher, I'm a penguin, Poirot.
Shall we follow him? It is up to you.
He's up to something, Poirot. Are you going to let him get away?
My shoes are of the finest leather, buffed to a perfect sheen. I will not be subjecting them to sea water.
Take them off, then.
No. If you wish to cross the causeway, summon the sea tractor. I will not wait.
Oh, for pity's sake.
Poirot will not be wading in this story. That must be clear.
Hello there.
Good morning, mademoiselle. I am Hercule Poirot.
Emily Brewster. Pleasure to meet you.
You rest from your exertions?
No, I teach ballet to a lot of energetic young girls. It would take more than a little row around this tiny island to wear me out. I don't know if you noticed, but I found what looks like the carving of a dart on a rock on the path there when I came down to bathe. It appears to be quite old. I was curious to see if there were any more carvings along here.
And have your investigations met with success?
Nothing so far. The sea may have worn any away, I suppose.
Are you enjoying Seadrift Island?
To tell you the truth, Mr. Poirot, this was a necessary trip for me. I lost a very close friend several months ago. I'm here to try and come to terms with her death, and to reclaim my life if I can. Forgive me for being so frank to an innocent question. I'm not sure why I said that.
Not at all, mademoiselle. People often find they can confide in me.
Of course. You're that Hercule Poirot.
There is more than one?
I've heard of you, of course. I apologize, I didn't make the connection at once.
Have you been here at the hotel long?
9 or 10 days.
Have you formed any impressions of our fellow guests?
Are you down here on a case, Mr. Poirot?
No, no. For a short holiday only. Forgive me if the question was impertinent.
Oh, I don't mind. Let's see. Horace Blatt is a wealthy businessman, of the sort one tries to avoid in London. Loud and boorish. I think he finds us all rather boring. The Redferns seem like a nice couple, but I've noticed a tension between them. If you want my opinion, Arlena Marshall is at the bottom of it. She's one of those women men seem drawn to, and other women tend to hate.
You choose to bathe here instead of at the beach?
Yes, I do so every day. It's just a few steps from the hotel. And there's this one gentleman, Major Barry, who seems to take a rather obvious interest in women in bathing attire. Makes my flesh crawl. So I try to avoid the beach.
Good luck in your investigation.
Thank you.
Good morning, mademoiselle. May I join you?
I would be delighted. It's Madame Redfern, by the way. Christine. You must be Hercule Poirot, the famous detective.
I am he?
Modesty, old man.
You may have reason to be modest, Hastings. Poirot does not.
The old place was buzzing last night when you arrived.
Ah, it is a perfect day for sketching.
Yes, indeed. I'm trying to capture that sailboat down there.
I see it. The man at the tiller seems quite good.
That's Horace Blatt. He's a guest here. He splits his time mainly between the bay and the bar.
A red sail is unusual, is it not?
Yes, quite.
What brings you to the Smuggler's Rest Hotel?
I'm here with my husband, Patrick.
Damn!
Hastings!
It was his idea, really. He's the outdoors type. But I burn so easily, I'm afraid. I must take care.
Our time here may be cut short.
Because of the evacuation, you mean?
Many seaside resorts are already closed.
Yes, that's mainly why I agreed to come. This could be Patrick's last chance for who knows how long.
Where is your husband?
That's him down there, swimming.
You do not swim, Madame Redfern?
No. The man near the equipment shed is George, the bathing beach attendant. That other man in the chair is Major Barry. You'll find him there most days, especially if there are any women swimming.
Major Barry has an eye for the ladies?
Definitely. Bit of a bore too. Full of stories about the army in India. That and his dogs. He apparently has many, many dogs.
What can you tell me about our fellow guests?
Well, there's Emily Brewster. You'll usually find her rowing about the island. Ballet instructor at school in North Taunton, I believe. There's a couple from up north somewhere. Gardeners. She'll talk your ear off. He's rather a dear, really. And Arlena Stewart, of course. You must have heard by now that she is here.
Oh, you know her?
My husband does. I'm afraid that's enough sum for me for a while, Mr. Poirot.
It has been a pleasure, madame. This is a useful point to measure the time it takes to reach Cutter's Cove, the spot that will be the scene of the murder. Good morning, monsieur.
Capital morning, capital. You must be that detective Johnny who arrived last night. Major Montague Barry, late of His Majesty's Army in India.
It is a pleasure, Major Barry. You are on a bathing beach, but you do not bathe, Major?
No, never got the taste for it. The scenery can be quite pleasant, though.
Yes, it is very nice.
Nice? Now? Wouldn't say that. None of the finest sex about. Good-looking fillies, some of them. Where are they all, I wonder?
Have you been at the hotel long?
Couple of weeks. One last hurrah, you might say, before Fritz arrives on our doorstep.
Yes, they are coming very soon now, I think.
Bombs first, of course. Soften us up, or so they think. Not like India. I was there for the start of the Third Afghan War. Now that was war with some honor to it. Those days you could see a man's eyes go dull as you killed him.
How did you come to Seathrift Island?
I show my dogs over in Dartmouth twice a year. Train them, you see. Always told myself I'd stay here once when I got my chance.
Are your dogs here? At the hotel?
Not likely. They're safe at some kennels I found near Exmoor. Had to get them out of London, you see. Wouldn't have stood the bombing, poor beasts.
Do you know anything of the history of this place?
Not much. Heard some rot about Roman orgies way back when. Then some monks decided this would be a wonderful place to make brandy. There's that smuggler Tom Cutter, of course. Gave his name to a cove here on the island. Supposed to still haunt the pub. That's about it.
Any impressions of our fellow guests?
That actress is a fine specimen, no denying. The Redfern lass is not bad, but a bit too pale for my taste. I like 'em with a bit of colour. Miss Darnley, the dressmaker, she's quite attractive in her own way, too.
Enjoy the scenery, Major Barry.
I will, when it arrives.
Morning, sir. I'm afraid the rowboat is out, but I could set you up with a nice rubber float.
No, thank you. Poirot does not float.
Oh, no worries, sir. A bit of exercise would soon help that.
I see no cause for amusement. You are the beach tender?
That's right, sir. I keep an eye on the equipment, look after the grounds, the tennis court, and so on as well.
Do you enjoy your job?
It's all right. Not much for excitement, and the new manager's ever so strict. Henry the barman, though, he's my mate. Henry makes an excellent cocktail. He makes a superb planter's punch, direct from the Caribbean it is.
Are you from this area?
Born and raised in Lethercombe Bay.
You must know many interesting stories of the area.
You mean Tom Cutter, the ghost, the treasure? Mr. Gardner was quizzing me about old Tom just the other day. Some will tell you it's just stories, but I saw him a few weeks back, white and glistening in the moonlight like he'd risen from the sea.
He was drowned?
Yes, sir. Some rival done him in. You'll hear other accounts, but that's my belief.
How do you know the figure you saw was a ghost?
Well, he disappeared into thin air, didn't he?
Where did you see him?
Outside the Smuggler's End pub well after midnight. He passed inside. I'd had my share of liquid courage, so I follows him. Down into the cellar he goes, so down I go. And what do you think?
He was helping himself to a tankard of grog? Grog? What is grog, Hastings?
Shh. No. Vanished into thin air. Ghosts do that.
How long have you worked here?
Almost 10 years now, but that's all coming to an end.
Why is that?
Got my papers, didn't I? Reporting for duty next week. Navy frogman, that's what I'm going to be.
I will leave you to your duties. A length of sturdy cord. Hastings, I swim like the dolphin. I simply do not wish to swim at the present moment. This is a useful point to measure the time it takes to reach Cutter's Cove, the spot that will be the scene of the murder. You wish to eavesdrop, Hastings? As you wish. We will listen to their conversation.
Sightseeing is all very well. I'd like to do a place thoroughly, but a quiet spot by the seaside where I can just sit and do my knitting is so relaxing, isn't it, Oakley?
Yes, darling.
And this is such a picturesque spot, quite out of the world and at the same time very comfortable and most exclusive in every way, isn't it, Oakley?
Yes, darling.
We have heard all there is to hear. Bonjour, madame. Bonjour, monsieur. I hope I do not disturb you.
Why, of course not. He's not disturbing us, is he, Oakley?
No, darling.
You must be our newest addition. Mr. Hercule Poirot, the famous detective. You recall me telling you he would be joining us, Oakley?
Yes, darling.
I am Mrs. Carrie Gardner. This is my husband, Oakley.
Very pleased to make your acquaintances. Are you enjoying your stay on the island?
Very much. It's so peaceful and relaxing. So far from the cares of the world, isn't it, Oakley?
Yes, darling.
This is an interesting spot.
Yes, isn't it? Not as much wind, I think, as the terrace above the bathing beach or over at Sanctuary Cove. Oh, look, Oakley. There goes Miss Brewster again. Can't think where she gets her energy.
What business are you in, Monsieur Gardner?
Oakley is retired, Mr. Poirot. He was manager and owner of the Lake District's best-known theatre company.
These days I travel and indulge my passion for collecting rare coins.
Enough of that. I'm sure Mr. Poirot isn't interested in old coins.
Our fellow guests seem most charming.
You think so? Some are, of course. Others, well, I wouldn't like to say, but I was telling Oakley just last evening that Stewart woman is paying quite too much attention to Mr. Redfern, wasn't I, Oakley?
Of course, having run a theatre, I'm well aware that actors aren't like us. They have different standards.
Lower standards.
Yes, darling.
And you should have seen Mr. Marshall and Miss Darnley laughing and joking yesterday. Everyone thought they'd just met, but apparently they are old friends.
I will leave you now.
A sturdy post. A sturdy post.
What are you thinking, Hastings? Poirot, he does not climb up and down the ladders?
Hello. You haven't seen a tennis ball in the grass, have you? I had a lob go spectacularly astray.
No, monsieur. I am sorry.
You wouldn't be Hercule Poirot by any chance, would you?
I am Poirot, monsieur.
Kenneth Marshall. That was my wife, Arlena.
She is very charming, Madame Marshall. Hastings, if you embarrass me, we will cease the investigation at once.
My apologies, Poirot. I'll try to remember who I am.
Listen, Poirot. This is a bit of luck finding you here. Something rather distressing has happened. Since our arrival here on Monday, Arlena has received two, what I can only describe as threatening notes.
Do you have the notes?
Well, yes, here they are. Arlena thinks I destroyed them, but I thought I'd better not.
Very wise. One moment, please, while I examine them.
Arlena refuses to take them seriously. She says people are often jealous of her due to her success and her beauty, and it's no more than that. I'm not so sure.
You are right to be concerned. In my experience, Captain Marshall, the hatred to write such notes is one to take very seriously indeed.
Would you have a talk with Arlena and tell her that?
I will do as you ask. How did these arrive?
The first was simply shoved under her door. The second was found on her dressing table. Mr. Poirot, her door was locked.
When did Mrs. Marshall receive these?
That first note was found the morning after we arrived. That would have been August 20th. The second appeared yesterday. Knowing you are investigating has eased my mind enormously.
Captain Marshall, I will do what I can to assist you. But if I am to be successful, I must enjoy your wife's complete cooperation.
I hope you can succeed in convincing her of the gravity of the situation. If you'll excuse me, I have some letters to type.
He has some letters to type?
He seems unaware of the significance of what he has said. How many typewriters can there be on this island?
Seems more likely Miss Darnley's typewriter was borrowed to write the notes.
It is possible.
You knew there might be a real danger to Mrs. Marshall even then.
Yes, my friend. I could feel something in the wind. The way sailors can sense the approaching storm.